Warriors Call will see Britain's very own IBF super middleweight champion Carl the Cobra Froch take on Danish legend Mikkel Kessler, WBA champion, in a huge unification match here at the O2 on May the 25th. The fight, which was recently described by our own trade paper as one of the greatest fights of the modern era, will see these two warriors do it all over again, live on Sky Sports box office, Viasat throughout Scandinavia, HBO in America, and over 100 countries around the world.
Eddie, looking here at the O2 Arena, how does it feel?
Feels great. You know, I've been here a couple of times. We looked at here, we looked at the MEN, and this just had something about it. I don't know. You know, I was here for the Groves, the Gale fight. I think they had about 8,000 in that night, but still, it felt like a big event. And you know, these kind of fights deserve big city events, and I think London is an apt venue for a fight like this.
You've had Lucian Buto over here, but now you've got Kessler for the rematch. As you say, big venue here at the O2. I mean, does this feel like you've arrived as one of the big boys in promoting?
Yeah, it's not really about me, it's about the fighters, you know. I mean, people keep saying, oh, is this your biggest achievement? I don't really look at it like that. I don't leave this press conference today and go, yeah. I go and I think, oh, I'm so chuffed for Carl, because he deserves it more than anyone, you know. And I think that to deliver, what makes me feel better and great is not that I've put on or that I've made this huge fight and this huge show. It's the opportunities that I've given to Carl Froch as a client and as a mate. That's what gives me the buzz. So I'm buzzing that I've given Carl this moment more than that we've got a fight in here or we've got that specific fight. I mean, I'm chuffed to make the fight, but it's a different kind of pleasure that I get out of it.
I was one of the few Brits who was ringside for the first one. It was a truly remarkable fight. I mean, how excited are you about what the guys could deliver on the night?
Well, you know, sometimes you can hype a fight up and it never, you know, never lives up to the expectations. But I think with this, everyone knows what you're going to get, because two great chins, two great punchers, two great styles can only mean one thing. And I'm just, you know, I said to someone the other day, can you imagine when they're both in the ring and the anthems are going and then everybody gets out, and just that moment before that first bell sounds and the crowd just lifts, the anticipation of what kind of fight we're going to get. But I think everyone knows what kind of fight we're going to get, you know, and that's why it's going to be such a successful event, because there's been too many fights in the past where people have been let down, but in this I can't see that happening.
What's the capacity here and what's it going to be set up for on the night?
About 17,000. Obviously a full arena straight off the bat. You can see up here, I think it's £40 at the start, then 60, then 80s at the side, hundreds in the middle, and 200s and 500s ringside and stuff like that. So it's expensive. I mean, you know, it's a big fight in London, and you have to hit targets and you have to hit numbers to make sure the fight happens. But I think you're going to get great value for money from that. And of course, you know, we're under pressure to put on a great card as well. So we'll be doing that with Sowlands as well.
So the HBO are televising in the US, which is big news in itself. The bigger news over here is that it's back on Sky box office, return to pay-per-view for Sky. Already there's been I've already had some tweets about people saying how bad it is for people who pay their Sky money and stuff. I mean, what do you say to people who feel hard done by it? They don't want to pay for extra on top of their Sky bill.
They don't have to pay. I mean, you know, listen, I'll be brutally as honest as I can. For big unification fights like this to take place, pay-per-view is the only model that works. You know, and that's the brutal reality. And I'd rather make the fights with the pay-per-view option than not make them at all. So I actually embrace pay-per-view's return to be able to make these big unification fights. I've criticised pay-per-view in the past, but I've also criticised the fights that have been taking place on pay-per-view. That's been the problem. Too many world champions against challengers. You know, too many, you know, even Groves de Gale, Hay against Ruiz, Tyson versus Savarese going way back. This is a unification fight between two of the greatest world champions of modern era. And of course, you know, there's going to be criticism, but again, if I could make it without pay-per-view, I would have done it in a heartbeat. But if there was no box office on this fight, there would be no fight.
With a regular licence fee, how far would the shortfall have been in terms of getting the guys what they wanted from the licence fee that you just get?
Miles. The problem is with TV broadcasting is there's no middle ground. There's the money for your regular Saturday night fight nights, and there's box office money, and there's nothing in the middle. And you can't criticise Sky, because Sky are the only player in town. I don't see any BBC or ITV coming up with a chunk of money to try and win this fight. They're not interested. They're not at a ball game. So Somehow we have to try and make a way to make this happen, and that is the only way to make it happen.
Have there been talks with any other broadcasters for this fight?
No, because there's no interest from any other broadcaster. BBC, no chance. ITV, no chance. Channel 5 doing bits and pieces. Rumours they might be pulling out. You know, there's no other options. You know, Sky is the only player in town, and again, to make this fight, this was the only option. So I'd rather deliver this fight with a box office option than not deliver it at all. That's the harsh reality.
HBO have got the double header with Dawson Pascal. Is Sky going to have the same thing? And with that in mind, Dawson Pascal, possibly the winners meet?
Well, no, the winner of Dawson Pascal will fight Tony Bellew. So that's, you know, we're going to be looking to pick up Dawson against Pascal on the same night on Sky. Because obviously Tony Bellew's got a final eliminator on March the 30th for the WBC light heavyweight title. So Bellew will fight the winner of Pascal and Dawson. So that's another reason I want to make sure we've got that fight live on Sky.
Okay. Will it be too early for Bellew to fight again? You won't be looking to match him again after his fight on the 30th of March?
Yeah, I've already talked to him about it. Eyes on Chilemba because he's a decent fighter. He's not, you know, you can't take him lightly. But there is the opportunity to get Bellew out on May the 25th here, same night as Pascal Dawson. It's just difficult when you've won that fight and you become the mandatory. Do you want to go out and have another fight and just jeopardise anything, or, you know, exactly cuts or even a loss? You know, you never know what could happen in this game. But like I said, every matchroom fighter wants the box on this bill. Everyone. So it's going to be difficult to manage everyone's expectations, but you know, fans can expect a great show and a great undercard.
Get involved with all the best boxing banter at our forum, and that's forum.boxingnewsonline.net.